Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Guys, we have been getting quite a bit of amazing beginning starts, and this one is nonetheless, if not one of my favorite starts that I have seen in quite some time. My God, guys. So it all starts with pretty much seeing the fact that the training ritual was absolutely deadly. And the one thing about this as well is we are getting 26 episodes of Demon Slayer, guys. So already, this is exactly my type of anime in the sense of they're taking themselves very seriously. Like, they are going through some very, very rigorous training that, um, you know, could have been done within 30 minutes of how episodes usually are, like the 12 episodes usually are, where if they have 12 episodes and they're spending most of their time discussing or putting forth so much effort as to show us, this is what it is, this is what it ain't. And then when those 12 episodes do that, they waste all that time to explain, but then we don't really get to understand the greater scheme of what they're trying to get across, maybe with the bosses, because they don't have enough time. So, this is why, my anime people, we need these episodes. Tell me why they literally just spent a whole entire episode after we've already seen this training, they spent another episode training. You know why? Because they have time, because they can do that, because it's not going to affect how they tell the story towards the end when all of a sudden we see, these demons who are probably going to be doing some ridiculous stuff, and then they'll still have plenty of time to explain it, So I am very, very happy that we already have, on the third episode, we know exactly how many we're getting. This is approximately the same time that Shield Hero did this as well, and I've been enjoying every moment of Shield Hero. I just can't. It's crazy to think that we are now getting another show at the quality, if not better quality. No, definitely better quality, because the CGI in here is actually not that bad. We only saw it like 2 times in this week's episode, and that was mainly because uh, they were just showing his absolutely crazy expression of what it felt like to see what had happened during certain things. So everywhere we look in this week's episode, there's some type of awesome nods to this kid just becoming so much better every single time he emerges. And to think that we were going to get an amazing character like him, I would have never guessed. I never thought he was gonna be this fun, this awesome when it comes down to grinding. This man is pushing it to the limit right now, guys. And as he's doing that, he almost didn't even believe in himself because the things he had to do were absolutely ridiculous. Like slicing this boulder was his really final task before he was set free to do the final selection to practically become what he is set out to become in the Demon Slayers or in the Demon Slaying clan. So when you come to this point and you kind of start to understand what his motivation is, what everything is on his mind that he's trying to uh, get to, not only for his sister and to get, fight the person that supposedly did this to her, but now it's really coming down to he has this power, but what can he do with it? What can this power really become at the end of the day? And every time we see this man training this week, we kind of understand what he will be capable of. even about fighting some dude that just jumped at you full malice, fully trying to practically take you out. And the first thing you really tell him is, you have a wooden sword and I have a real sword. you know, like no, no, duh. I just clashed blades with you and still beat you with this wooden sword. What's your point? Is practically how that guy looked at it. Um, and I think these are the most telling signs for me that there's so much more for these characters in the future that I don't honestly think they could even express how freaking awesome I thought uh, both of these new characters were. Not to mention that they had the same like pupils as their mask. So it seems like the reason why he might have been sad after finally getting our boy through this year-long training session. We got a year-long training session for this guy, and the one thing that we still don't know probably is if he truly, truly can body some like some high tier uh, demons. But I think with his sense of smell and stuff like that, because he was saying during the montage that his that part of him was getting more adept the more he was working on just his overall body, on his overall training. His nose was getting better. He could start to sense things better. So to just think about all the people he's going to run down, not to mention he's got the stamina, conditioning, and like overall this breathing control that makes all the humans capable of being on par with demons at a certain point. Like, I mean, I'm guessing the trade-off is this breathing is going to leave you defenseless if you can only use it for such a short amount of time. But that wasn't really specified throughout this week's episode, so I wouldn't look too much into it yet until they really are just like, yeah, if you use this technique for more than 5 minutes, you might leave yourself vulnerable. Like none of that was talked about, so I'm not gonna act like there is a actual weakness right now until like yeah, until they tell us there's an actual weakness. Because just to jump to that conclusion, then to come to find out there isn't one, might make our characters even more broken, and we might not even have to worry about them as much as we are worried about. Well, I'm worried about them. So, as I was saying, this show's quality and how dope it was looking throughout every fight scene. I mean, this man started doing a back pedal that looked like Bruce Lee's fighting stance when he starts like running backwards, guys. Like that's how cleaned up this stuff looks compared to like other others just doing whatever they try to do, and sometimes not coming off the way that they want. But whew, this was completely different. This this looks so good. I not sure when they're going to overall give us the end all be all of the series, but I mean, like, I'm not sure what, because he's talking about bringing his sister and turning her back to human, and I feel like that's already kind of an interesting plot hole that could be made within the show, because how are you going to bring her back if you haven't, the only thing you've been learning right now is about your own body, about your own ways of training, right? So how then is he gonna know that bringing people back from being demons and to back to humans is even a thing? He's never put that much effort into learning anything about those those other entities. So what makes him so sure this is even possible? Um, I mean, sure, somebody left her alive. The guy left her alive because he probably felt bad that the kid wanted to save his sister that turned. B, when she did turn and she had an opening to eat him, she decided to protect him. So these are all tall tale signs that she wasn't normal in the first place, and kind of another reason why she actually was probably left alone and left to live by the Demonslayer that we saw. So that's the type of stuff that you got to think about. But man, was this training ritual ridiculous. This man was going at a boulder for so long, getting nowhere for around 6 months. And then next thing you know, he gets some conflict. He gets someone straight up pushing him to fight on the daily. And if every time you lose, you're pretty much just picking yourself up with your head lowered. So you're feeling the pain every time you lose. I don't know. I think this show has already shown that the potential is enormously ridiculous on this show, and if they even somehow mess this up, it'd be the weirdest thing ever to see them mess this show up somehow. So hopefully they get it right. Hopefully we get to see quite an amazing outcome. I mean, with it being 26 episodes, they can take their time. They can take their time, and we can just sit back and relax and enjoy. I can't wait for that, guys. To be fair, I've been praying for all of these shows to be 26 episodes, but knowing that this one is at least 26 to 24, I am pretty ecstatic. I'm pretty freaking happy. That makes me very excited to know that some of what we're getting out to the people in the sense of quality that we want is, it's out there. They know at least what to do for some of these shows that have the most potential. Like for instance, look at Black Clover. Like, give me 7 more Black Clovers, please. If you want to take all that time to flesh out those characters, and then all of a sudden you turn those characters into lovable ones, sold, sold. Like, let's go. So Demon Slayer, absolutely phenomenal this week. We are looking at probably another show that we can put a lot of faith in to be going on for quite a bit, even if the season ends and it doesn't end with a conclusion. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that there's some material out there that should be, like the manga or something, should be either further or still continuing, hopefully. So let's just all hope this all falls together perfectly for this show. And let's also, I want to hear your opinions. What do you feel about these fights? I mean, the graphics on this, like all the choreographics of the fighting, how it actually looked, the way that they were throwing blows at each other looked like Sekiro, like actual traditional sword fighting. I mean, for Christ's sakes, he blocked with his hilt, his handle of his sword at one point, So this is the type of stuff that I expect from these studios that have been either working with anime for a long, long time and getting more practice in, or the studios that just they've been watching anime even more closely than I have in the animation department of it, and they want to emulate it their own way. And this is what it comes out to be. But this looks awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know exactly what's your favorite parts, or what is something you might be afraid of in this show. Is me telling you that it's 26 episodes? Does that give you some hope that we're looking towards a good future for this show as a whole? And overall, even if it wasn't 26 episodes, do you still think it would have been fire? But with all that being said, I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope you have an awesome and amazing day. Uh, Depending on whenever you're watching this, because I know some people watch my videos 2 days after they've been out, and I still appreciate all of that support. So thank you so much for even giving it a chance. I am the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you in the next one. So with that, peace.